What's up, everybody? Nick Dwyer back for the 10th inning, here with another episode of This Day in Sports History. In yesterday's episode, we saw Jad Johnson defeat Tommy Burns to win the World Heavyweight Boxing title. We don't have any boxing today, but we do have some NHL to talk about, we have some NFL championships to talk about today, and we have some Ballon d'Ors to get into. So if y'all enjoyed this video, leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. This Day in Sports History. And we will start out today in Major League Baseball in 1919, and one day after the secret arrangement to sell Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees, Red Sox owner Harry Frazee would announce they would deal any player except outfielder Harry Hooper. Hooper would be sent to the White Sox after the 1920 season. Move all the way up to 1953 now. At the NFL Championship, the Detroit Lions would retain their title, defeating the Cleveland Browns 17-16. Stay at the NFL Championship 6 years later in 1959, the Baltimore Colts would defeat the New York Giants 31-16. After they were down 31-7 in the fourth quarter, the Colts ended up scoring 24 straight points to win the game. Speaking of the Colts, we stay with them in 1964 at the NFL Championship, but this time the Cleveland Browns would defeat the Baltimore Colts 27-0 in shutout fashion, even though the Colts were heavy favorites. And this would actually be the last championship won by a major league pro sports team in Cleveland until the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers. We get into our first Ballon d'Or of the day in 1966, and Manchester United midfielder Bobby Charlton would win the award 1 point ahead of Benfica striker Eusebio. 5 years later in 1971, we go to a college football bowl at the first edition of the Fiesta Bowl. Number 8 Arizona State would defeat Florida State 45-38. Back to the Ballon d'Or in 1977, and forward Alan Simonson would win the award ahead of forward Kevin Keegan and midfielder Michel Platini. 1 year later, we remain at the Ballon d'Or in 1978, and Augsburg forward Kevin Keegan would win his first of 2 consecutive trophies ahead of Hans Krankel and Rob Rensenbrink. Stay with the Ballon d'Or 5 years later in 1983, and Juventus midfielder Michel Platini would claim his first of 3 trophies ahead of Liverpool midfielder Kenny Dalglish and Alan Simonson. Take a little bit of a break off of the Ballon d'Or, go to the NFL in 1987, and Steve Largent would set the all-time NFL record for career catches at the time, when he would surpass Charlie Joyner catching his 752nd pass. Back to the Ballon d'Or in 1988, and there would actually be a Milan 1-2-3 for the awards, which is just odd to begin with. But Marco van Basten would win his first of 3 awards ahead of Ruud Gullit and Frank Rijkaard. Move back to the NHL in 1999, and with a second period assist, Joe Sakic would record his 1,000th career point against the St. Louis Blues. 1 year later in 2000, remain with the NHL, and Pittsburgh Penguins center Mario Lemieux would score a goal and 2 assists in his return to the NHL after more than 3 years out with injury problems and dealing with cancer. The Penguins on the day would end up defeating the Maple Leafs 5-0. 15 years later, moved to the NFL in 2015, and the Carolina Panthers' bid for an undefeated season would end when Julio Jones would have a 70-yard touchdown reception to power the Falcons to a 20-13 victory over the Panthers, who would drop to 14-1 on the season. And we'll end today's video off in 2017 in the international world of football, and Raheem Sterling would score to give Manchester City a 1-0 victory over Newcastle United to set an EPL record 18th consecutive victory. But there you have it, that's what happened on this day in sports history. If I left anything out, I do apologize, but I'll see everybody tomorrow for Nick Dwyer and the 10th inning.